Alien Earth has wrapped up its season 1, and Jim and myself are going to talk about the good, the bad, the nasty of the series on this right now. Stick around.
You'll never come back again. It's gotta get first.
Here we are. Alien Earth, FX's Alien Earth has wrapped up. So, overall thoughts, how did you feel about this season 1?
I stick to my original claims, which is I really enjoyed it. I thought the characters were well developed. I thought the world building was good. Visually, it looked like it fit into the world and the timeline of the world. Yeah, I have no complaints, really, to be honest, about the show.
I didn't know what to expect going into it because the Alien franchise as a whole, like, of course I love Alien and Aliens, and then, you know, you have a little bit of a muddling middle with the movies, and then Ridley Scott tried to come back with Prometheus and Alien Covenant, and I wasn't even wowed with those. It wasn't until Romulus, Alien Romulus, where I was like, okay, maybe we're back on the grind, because that's when Disney took their first crack at it. Noah Hawley was brought on to do this. I think it is his idea. So Noah Hawley, famously Legion and other shows, at one point was on Star Trek. Can't believe that never got off the ground. But here we are, this Alien series, and overall, I had an absolute blast. I think it is such a character-driven show where you're rooting for, we'll call them kids for now. We're going to get into spoilers. You're rooting for these kids, specifically our lead, and everybody who's the villain as such in this are wonderful. The boy genius is wonderful. Timothy Olyphant, granted, he's not, you know, heavily villain, but is part of that team of the rich billionaire. But for me, overall, I just quite enjoyed the characters that we got and the perfect amount of Alien, because this is the first show of this franchise. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a, you know, okay, we're seeing too much of them or we're seeing too little of them. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shows that like to play that button.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back at Legion, I mean, that was essentially kind of like an X-Men show without X-Men. But it did work. And so, we didn't know what was going to get, like you said, we didn't know what we were going to get or how much Alien we were going to get or how much, but it did have the right amount. And you mentioned the kids, and I thought what I liked about them is the fact that they did feel like kids without feeling like too much of a caricature of kids, I guess. Like you get with like Shazam.
Right, exactly. Like Zach Levi's version of a child in this world would have been so frustrating, because I was even to the finale when there's a character like telling the kids to come on and just watching their shoulder movements of like, okay, like that was so subtle, and you're brought back to, oh, they're children. Of course. But like something in Shazam, just Levi's stance of like, oh, there's aliens on this world. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Like, if we would have gotten that, I would have lost my mind.
It was over the top when that in Shazam, but no, this was just the right level of just the acting in general was on point for me.
Good that I want to get with on this for me is the way this season starts, where we are off-world, we follow a ship, very alien-like. There's so many kind of like homages to this for Alien and Aliens. I'm highly impressed with Noah Hawley and his team writing this. But like starting with the ship, a crash landing of the ship on Earth in a city, they're rounding up these aliens where they basically bring them to this isolated island, which I find so smart, because it's not a situation of, it was my biggest question actually, and at the beginning when we saw it land in the city, I was like, oh no, what are we doing? Like, how are we going to explain this entire Earth getting infested by this alien? And there's other aliens. That's the biggest thing that I love to take away is that it's just not the xenomorph. It's fucking sheep eyes. It's the xenofly plant looking thing that sucks you. There's flies that their intestines are on the outside, so acid spitting everywhere. Like there's a lot of cool alien creatures in this, not just xenomorph. So you're taken from there. You go to this isolated island where, you know, the boy billionaire's trying to, you know, he's trying to make money off these creatures. He's trying to conduct research to find the most perfect specimen in a way. And during all this, the kids who are half-breeds of human and cyborg or whatever they're called, synths?
Yeah, they're synths. Well, the cyborg was the other.
Old man.
Yeah, the one that came down on the ship. Well, the one that came down on the ship, he would have been a cyborg, where he's a human with implants and everything, where they're essentially a synth with their human uploaded into them. Right.
So we get these half-breed synths trying to find out where they are in this world, where our leader, and they're all named after Peter Pan characters, and Wendy being my absolute favorite, finds her brother and convinces him, like, no, I'm your sister on that world before they get put on the island. And during the island stuff, the thing that blew me away, my biggest, like, what the fuck are we doing in a good way, is when she can speak xenomorph.
Right.
Blew me away because you are taking your protagonist, your biggest villain from this franchise, and eventually there's this baby alien, and she's kind of mama through this, and it felt organic. It felt real. Like, I think it was it Alien Resurrection where Sigourney Weaver was kind of like, I'm with you guys, I'm part you guys.
Yeah.
And that felt a little nasty, where this feels, I like where we're going.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think she also, you know, could relate to it in some ways, as far as feeling kind of as like just a specimen trapped on this thing where she can't get out, she can't go anywhere. And when you mentioned it being on an island instead of the city, the other good thing about that is it keeps the scale down, especially for the first season of a television show. You're able to keep that scale down, so you're able to reel in the budget a little bit, and you're also able to it gives you someplace to go in season 2 if you want. You can expand it in a bigger direction. You don't have to keep getting big, you know. If you start too big in season 1, you're kind of screwed.
Right. Where I do feel, I think this was 8 episodes. Yes. So it's 8 episodes. The way this show felt, in my opinion, was the first 2 to 3 were the action-packed episodes. And then 3, 4, 5, 6 are your character-driven.
Yeah.
And then 7 and 8 became the like, okay, S is going down. Let's figure it out. So much so the Cyborg and Timothy Oliphant have like a fight scene in the 8th episode, I believe. And his mission, I loved it. He's actually, besides Wendy, my favorite character. It would probably go Wendy, him, and Timothy Oliphant. In his character, he was on that ship bringing the alien species to Yutani. There was a malfunction, a sabotage, if you will, which crash landed the ship. And then his goal is, I got to get these creatures. And he comes up with some like crazy shit. Like he goes to one kid, like he takes a call in the kid's mind. They'll be like, yo, come on, we're friends. We're boys. I saved you. You need to go get me an alien. Oh, you won't? I'm going to kill your fucking mom. Okay? So do this thing. And the kid, because he is a child in this synth adult body, like convinces someone to go into the alien cage, face hug that mother sucker, and now he's going to get a chest burst. And for some reason, such a satisfaction watching when that character gets a chest burst at the end of the series.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many characters on this show. You could probably talk to every person you talk to could probably give you the different top 3 characters of the show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, my second favorite character is Eyeball.
Of course you love Eyeball. Eyeball, and again, we're in spoilers, so if you haven't seen this, that's your own mistake. This is just two dudes trying to have a good conversation. The end of the series, because Eyeball's been in the sheep, kinda masterminding everything. So much so, the billionaire wanted, like, that Eyeball in a person so he can have a conversation with him. And eventually, Eyeball leaves the sheep because it's trying to enter the brother's body, and they beat it down, Wendy and the bro, but the Eyeball escapes. Eventually, the fucking guy who got the chest burst, which we just keep seeing on the beach, like Crab's been on it, I mean, he's been mulled over. Eventually, that Eyeball makes it to that body, enters the body, and then does a nasty-ass sit-up. Bro, this show!
And you don't really know, like, it's another character that you don't really know. Like, is it good? Is it bad? Because in one of the early episodes, you see him, like, warning the scientists when the bugs could escape. He's kind of like, hey, them bugs are out, dude.
Watch out for those guys. You're right. You don't have a good idea of what his goal is, but what's fantastic. So we'll get into that bit in a little bit. Let's focus on the finale. Eventually, these kids that have been, they're basically what Boy Billionaire has said is that they're show models for the future. The show that death is beatable. Because I love the allegory of Peter Pan, never wanting to grow up, and Wendy obviously wants to grow up.
Yeah.
But, like, he's trying to use them for the future, and then eventually they realize, no, they need to be afraid of us. These kids pretty much just take over. Like, they're strong enough, they're ass whippers. Wendy already did a mission at the beginning of this where she could take on the xenomorph and kick, like, soldier ass, because I love that there's kind of alien references with the soldiers at the beginning and even the end, like the way their bodysuits are. Very cool. But the xenomorph, the baby xenomorph that eventually grows, is now kind of in partnership with Wendy, and, like, during their island walk is, like, looking over them. Like, she told the xenomorph, hide and watch.
Right.
Which I thought was fantastic. I also love that, like, the color of its top is kind of brown. Like, I don't know if they've ever played with the color of the xenomorph outside of a toy line.
Right. Yeah, not too much.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that is because we got to signify this specific one.
Right, is the one.
Is, like, the one and good guy. Because I think there's eventually going to be more xenomorph action, and there's going to probably be a war. So, yeah, going back to that character, I forget his name, the security guard off the ship. But
I know, I was trying to remember too. I'm terrible with names.
I'm the absolute worst with names. But let's see if I can pull up this cast right here. Bing, bang, boom. And that's why we have the Morrow.
That's it.
Morrow? Yeah.
Yep.
Morrow, who was the security officer, he's got to bring him back, and he convinces this kid to create another one. So now we have a second xenomorph born on this island that Morrow was coming for, but Timothy Oliphant eventually gets. The kids take over, lock them in the prison, and, like, it was kind of rad because, like, the kids are just standing there, the xenomorph's just crawling all over, the good xenomorph, crawling all over the cage. Fucking what a cliffhangery ending. How did you take it? And Utani, yes. Utani is coming to F stuff. And my favorite, two of my favorite things, like the billionaire, I was fine with the whole show. Like, I thought he was quirky and fun. He had a ball this last episode because at one point he gets with the xenomorph, like, and he gets knocked down, and then Wendy shows up and he's like, whew, I think I pissed my pants. I was like, what a line. And then at the very end, when Wendy's like, we rule, because now they're ruling, quote unquote, Neverland, in my opinion. Like, she goes, now we rule, and it shows the billionaire, and he's like, like, I am all in for this bat-tastic case of person and this show.
I also like when the kids were still locked up and he came in to talk to them, and she's just like, and opens the door, and he's like, "Oh, well, okay then."
Yeah, like she's connected to everything. Like
Yeah,
she is special. There's something like it's obvious that she is taking command and like has a better connection with what her ability is.
yeah, she's
Where
learning.
the other kids haven't been there yet. I do think the redhead is on precipice, and I think now let's get into season 2. I think there's going to be something that happens that makes redhead and maybe one other go against Wendy.
Well, it'll probably be her because she's the one who's definitely on edge, and then definitely the one most likely to snap and just be like, "No, let's not keep them alive. Let's kill them." And
Right.
that's where you kind of have that conflict.
And she already, like I said, the other boys haven't really done anything that looks stupendous yet, but like she ripped a fucking jaw off a person with ease. So she knows she has abilities others don't.
Yeah. Well, the two boys are there almost as like a comic relief, but in a way, like again, where it's not just corny. Like they're
Right.
fun. They're fun characters. They have fun interactions.
100%.
They feel like real children.
100%. Season 2, I think will have the growing of the one xenomorph where the bad guys will get in control of to eventually get us xenomorph versus xenomorph. And I don't know if it's one. For me, I think this show needs to just be 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's not going to run long. It's not the kind of show that's going to run long.
Right. I think with season 2, you can kind of end it with them getting off the island, whether that's good guy or bad guy. And I think there needs to be a finality to all this. Like, you know, some shows you watch where it's like, oh God, where is this going to go? And it ends up going 7, 8 seasons. And then by the time you get to the end, you're like, huh, that's a lot. But in the world of Alien, and especially Noah Hawley's Alien, I feel this is a trilogy that should wrap up and be contained. Especially being such a franchise where I don't want them to come up with something that's going to interfere with either a future setting movie or a past setting movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's pretty close. It's only a couple years out from the original Alien, and he's already mentioned that it would probably, lead into Weyland Yutani rerouting the ship from the original Alien. And that's essentially, I guess, how the show would end.
Wait a second. What do you mean reroute? I don't remember a reroute.
Yeah, it was rerouted because it got like a signal. And the company told it to go check it out.
Oh, and that's what led them to the ship with those commander-looking fucks, or whatever they were called.
Space
Got
jockey.
you. The space jockey. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sick. Yeah, I would like it to end like that. I would love this to end with they know what's on that ship.
And then we get a spin-off for Eyeball.
Eyeball deserves a spinoff, but like I need the spinoff to be a comedy, office
It's a road
style,
It's a road trip.
in a person. What 2 voices, 1 guy. Who do we get? I can only picture Jeremy Piven. I think Jeremy Piven is the actor who plays the mind of the eye, like the mind voice.
I feel like this is a conversation for a whole different way.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe we'll get a what if down the line of eyeball road trip movie of trying to stop a predator. You never know. Awesome. Did you guys watch Alien Earth? Are you a fan of it? Do you want a season 2? They haven't announced it yet, so fingers crossed we get one. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because there will be definitely more Alien and Predator conversations on this. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.